Hey guys, what's going on? Envy Fitness here. Today I'm joined with my friend Bodan, and today we're going to be going over our top 10 personal fitness tips for beginners, and also these are tips applied to your everyday life. So, starting off with tip number 1 would be taking initiative and not being afraid to do it. Oftentimes people say that they're going to start tomorrow, next week, or Monday, but really who knows what's going to happen at that time. It's good to start right away, not worry about what others have to think, and do it for yourself.
For many, taking initiative or starting right away is something that's really hard to do. But once you do it, it's something it's basically 75% of like the step towards your goal. Because without starting, there's no end. 25% is the work you have to put in still.
Yes, exactly. And also people worry about what others have to think. You're doing it for yourself at the end of the day, so don't worry about it. Just do it for yourself.
Yeah. Okay, so tip number 2 would be to stretch before you do any type of physical exercise, especially heavy lifting, such being compound movements within the gym, anything that has to do with building muscle, strength, endurance. So what stretching ultimately does is it increases your flexibility, or your ability for flexibility.
Yes.
That rhymes.
Also your
strength,
Mm-hmm.
your range of motion. Obviously, that comes with the flexibility. And it also prevents injury, which is something I'm all too familiar with this past week.
Yes.
So take it from me, stretch, whether it be dynamic or static stretching before a workout, days before a workout, just one day before a workout, hours, doesn't matter, stretch.
And also what I like to do is I like to warm up with the movement that I'm going to perform.
Yep.
So for example, bench press, I like to start with the bar and slowly, add the weight, when needed.
It engages your muscles, it helps,
Gets you warm.
Mm-hmm. Gets you used to the movement.
And then you'll get right into your lift.
Yep.
Okay, so tip number 3 is going to be having a program. For example, not just relying on chest and arms every day, because oftentimes people think they're going to make gains, if you want to use that term. People think they're going to make gains by doing that, but no, you're not really doing that. You have to allow your muscle fibers and your muscles to repair and recover. What I often like to do is I allow 48 hours, 2 days for major muscles, your chest, your back, and your legs. And then for your arms and your, shoulders, I would say at least a day minimum is necessary for that.
Yeah, that's pretty hard.
It's
exactly what I do, what we both do, pretty much.
It's good to have a program and split up each muscle group individually.
So there's sufficient rest.
Sufficient rest for, the next day and the next workout.
Yeah. So tip number 4 would be to set yourself goals, whether they be short-term or long-term. So obviously the short-term goals, they kind of build onto this long-term goal. It's this idea of increasing in increments. So consistently increasing in increments, and we're going to talk about that later on too. So with these short-term goals, you organize yourself, you organize your life. It gives you motivation. You can see where you are, how much progress you've made. And yeah,
it's good to set short-term goals and slowly achieve them, knock them off one by one, and then it will add up to eventually a long-term goal of yours.
The short-term goals act as motivation.
They're very keep going. And going on that point now, so tip number 5 is finding purpose and motivation. Finding motivation behind why you want to go on this journey, whether it be for yourself, self-motivation, doing it for others, or for your significant other, just in general.
Yeah, but most importantly, what I find, and I'm sure Nick agrees, is that the most important motivation would be your own motivation, your self-motivation, your willpower. Because without it,
very true.
You're gonna go places with other forms of motivation, is what I like to call them. But this self-motivation, finding a passion for what you love, a passion pretty much, is what's gonna drive you the furthest lengths. It's
not like the same as other types of motivation as you get out of self-motivation. I believe it just, you just feel better about yourself, and that's what keeps you really going. So I guess, I definitely agree with you on that one. All right, so tip number 6 is very important. I preach this to others, and also we have learned through past experiences with this one, is if you want to lose a few pounds or gain a few pounds, make sure you're eating. Eating is really important because oftentimes people restrict their calories too early on, and they add numerous amounts of cardio into their program, and then they have nowhere to go from there. It's good to start at the top and slowly decrease week by week and progress if needed.
For sure.
Small increments.
It's especially important to understand that there is a difference between losing weight and losing healthy weight. I think this especially applies within like this fitness industry, this industry that deals with aesthetics, just natural or like body aesthetics. You want to lose weight, but you don't want to lose muscle with your weight, which is something that's pretty important to, if of course, if your goals are to increase in size, increase in aesthetics, it's important to do this efficiently. If you use these, I guess, cheatsy ways in a way, I guess you can phrase it, you're just stunning your progress. You're not going to get as far as quickly as you would when you would consider this like healthy version of dieting, or just in general gaining weight.
What is recommended out there, and we go off this,
Yeah.
is week by week you should be losing at least 1 to 2 pounds.
Yeah.
Depending where you start from, that is too, right? If especially being a bigger person, if you lose for the first few weeks you lose a lot of weight, I guess that's fine because you're starting with a higher body fat, and your body's burning more energy and calories, so you're gonna lose more in the beginning.
Yeah,
After that, it's gonna get tough. But anyways, also people rely on cardio.
Yeah.
Like, don't rely on cardio. Cardio is just a tool that you need near the end,
Yeah.
or just to add in if needed.
Yeah. I know for myself, I don't typically need a lot of cardio. I refer to diet. Dieting works pretty well for me.
And the proper sleep.
Yeah,
Can't
proper
forget
sleep,
sleep.
of course. But cardio, because I have a fairly high metabolic rate, I guess you can say. So losing fat for me isn't that hard. It's pretty easy. High metabolism. I know Nick does
Lucky
a lot
guy.
of cardio.
Yeah. I'm the opposite. For me, it's easier to put on weight. For him,
For me, it's harder to put on
put
weight.
on weight. So yeah, we're like the opposites.
Yeah,
So it's good here. We have one who could
both sides of the spectrum.
both sides of the spectrum. So also, what I was saying before is if you want to gain weight, just make sure you are eating more calories than you burn. So
Yeah.
just making sure you're in a surplus.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay, so tip number 7 would be to envision yourself having achieved a certain goal, whether it being long-term or short-term. These visions, or you envisioning yourself, this ultimately helps with your self-motivation. It helps drive you, it helps feed your self-motivation, it helps with your progress. And ultimately, if you envision yourself having achieved these certain goals or whatnot, it's just in general, it's a way of organizing yourself, kind of setting yourself, setting yourself on this kind of timeline, being your short-term, long-term goals. The timeline consisting of these, you get to see where you are, how far you're ahead. Again, this allows you to kind of reflect on yourself, allows you to compare for how far you've come and how far you need to go, which is what the envisioning ahead is for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oftentimes I usually try to say envision your future, because I guess it's just for me, I don't know for you, it's just more motivation that keeps me going day by day and striving to progress in life and in the gym. So, all right, so tip number 8 is going to be not to ego lift. I see people oftentimes go into the gym, beginners, thinking they could do, let's say for example, we use the bench press, they could do 2 plates or a plate on the bench, and they can't really.
Those who clearly
perform.
can't.
And they clearly cannot perform the weight.
Yeah.
I think it's unnecessary. I tell people to just do what they can do, because you're risking injury.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
risking injury,
Exactly what I was thinking.
and if you get injured, you're not going to progress at all. You're going to go.
Yeah, you're starting your
It's a
progress.
setback. So pretty much just do what you can. Don't worry about what others think, and just worry about yourself.
This ties in with tip number 9. It kind of has to deal with being cocky and ego lifting, but more so with the weight that you actually can lift. And what I'm referring to is if you've taken time off or an extended period of time, like away from the gym, or even like maybe a day or two. Well, not a day or two, more so, but like maybe a week,
A
2
couple
weeks.
weeks. A couple
Especially
weeks.
if you have, like, for example, I have exams, if you have business trips or whatever, I know there's
Just something
a lot of
going on that
people in-
allows you not to
Yeah.
get to the gym.
So when you actually come back to the gym, you shouldn't go straight into your weight, the weight that you used to lift. This is somewhere where I kind of screwed up on this week. You have to increase in increments, and this may mean that like you don't even get to your weight that week. Especially, you may get to it the week after that or 2 weeks after that, because if you don't, again, it's risking injury. It's just notion of not stretch. It's the same as not stretching before you lift.
Mhm.
Because your body's obviously, it's kind of shut down for a while. It's not used to the weight. Again, it kind of got you out. Well,
So pretty much what you're trying to say is just worry about
Yeah.
it week by week, progress week by week.
Yeah.
You know that you could
Just
lift
go
that
slow,
weight.
go
You
slow.
know that you
Yeah.
have lifted that weight in the in the past. Maybe your strength's not there for that specific workout.
don't gamble.
Yeah, don't
risk
gamble.
it.
Just
Don't
take it
risk it.
easy. You know, if you can get it, you can get it. If not, you know,
Yeah.
just don't do it. So now, the most important tip, and this is the one that
For everyone.
for everyone
In life in general.
in general,
everything.
is consistency. Consistency and sticking with it. You know, this is really important because it's a journey, and people have to understand that things take time. Things don't come overnight. Like with fitness, if you know if everybody can get the perfect body overnight,
They would.
everybody would be
Everyone
fit.
would.
Everybody's
It's
fit.
not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy. It does take time.
Consistency is the king of all of the other tips, I guess you can say. Without consistency, there is no. Consistency is the building block of everything we've talked about. Literally, consistency makes up every single tip that we've talked about.
Hmm.
Without consistency, there's no progress. You can eat healthy, you can train for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. If you don't train for consistently for like an extended amount of time, you're not going to get anywhere.
Not
The
gonna
same,
really.
same in life with anything, whether it be your studies, work, anything in general. So it's important to be consistent.
Yeah,
It's-
through like your work, your fitness goals, just staying consistent, staying on track with everything. And what ties in with this, and this is really big too, is sacrifice. A lot of times, sacrifice plays a big role, especially in the in the fitness industry. And being in grade 12,
Yeah.
we have exams going on. We have a lot of distractions around us, parties where people drink and smoke, but we as individuals sacrifice going to those parties because we don't want to.
You have to find an equilibrium. You have to find this like healthy balance so that you're not just working your ass off. You need rest in there too. You need mental rest, spiritual rest, all sorts of rest. It's also a huge part in what allows you to progress further. Basically, if you don't achieve or take on these different types of rest, it's just stunning your. It's a setback. It's stunning your
Stunning your
progress.
progress. Yeah.
Yeah, and these sacrifices, they obviously include the gym too, or in general working out. Obviously, you can always find somewhere to work out, but it's important to understand that there are other things that are more important.
Yeah. So overall, it's pretty much great to find balance in your work, whether it be going to the gym and with socially your friends and
Yeah.
yourself, family, whatever it is.
There's this mental health you have to be aware of as well, not just physical.
So there you have it, guys. That is our top 10 tips that we have for you guys that you can take with you through life with fitness. And so this is Bodan, and he's going to introduce himself. So
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter or Instagram at Bodan Stebly.
okay, so there you have it. All right, guys, thank you for watching the video. Please leave a comment down below, like the video, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys.